Hey Portsmouth, this episode is focused on public education, and we're here at Mount Old Elementary School, Cradock Elementary, where the Eagles soar very high. This is Portsmouth's finest for the month of April. We're here at Cradock Elementary School interviewing Ms. Jolly Foster, who's the principal, and Ms. Washington, the school counselor. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a few questions for you all today. First question, what is the importance of education to you?
Okay, I'll start. The importance of education to me, being a second generation college graduate, my mother was a first generation college graduate in her family. It means a lot. And in my family, it was no option. You went to school, you did what your teacher said. And excellence was the only thing that you could do. There was no excuses. And so as a teacher and as a leader, I have imposed that same expectation on my teachers, on the students, and then my own personal children. My own personal children can tell you, good Lord, mommy doesn't give us an opportunity to make an excuse, because without education, it is the most basic elementary thing out there for our students. And without that, many of our students wouldn't have a chance to advance.
Education in my family was very important as well. It kind of served as an outlet for me. You know, I lost my mother when I was very young. And so education was something that I was always good at. I was like naturally a natural good student. I didn't have to study as hard as my siblings. It just came more so natural for me. And so it was something that I was successful at. And it was something that, you know, I continued on. When I went to college, I didn't know what I wanted to major in, but I know that I wanted my goal to be to help people to become better people. And I saw what education did for me. And so I decided to major in elementary education to become an educator. But also with my children, you know, education is very important, but, you know, I'm going to try to, you know, open up the opportunity. You don't have to necessarily go to college to be successful, but, you know, introduce the trades and, you know, other things to them, and let them have the opportunity to kind of choose which route they want to take, because there are several routes, especially during this day and time. There are several routes other than going to a four-year institution in order to be successful in life.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we're focusing on here with our career day that's coming up. We're going to be doing, yes, we have a traditional go to college, here are the jobs that you can have if you do this education, but with technology and the way our world is trending in this 21st century, we also have like a non-traditional career path, so that the students will know, you know, you could go to Norcom and get your license to be a nail tech, barber, hairstylist. When you walk across that stage, you can walk across with something. And yes, that educational track is different, but still very fruitful in terms of finances.
Yes, having good educators make you want to be an educator. How can public education better a city like Portsmouth?
I feel like education, it doesn't matter like what city, education is very important to any city in general. Education is the foundation of success. No matter like what job you go on, you still need those basic skills that you learn in elementary school in order to be successful on your job. And so education is just important in general, not just for a city like Portsmouth, but in general life, living as a citizen within the United States. Education is extremely important and the foundation of many things.
And I think also that, you know, your students have to understand the importance of it and why they have to do it. You know, like I was a Wycombe child, so why do I have to do this? Why do I have to take Algebra 2? Why do I have to take physics if I'm going to be a barber? You know, and sometimes we have to make explanations to children of why we have to do things. And so what we instill and try to instill here is that you have to do this so that you can make the world better, regardless. It's just that we just have to make sure that we understand, and also that it's not traditional education. Every child doesn't respond to a traditional set of educational paths. So we have to make sure we expose them to say that this is one way that you can be educated and this another way. And then as administrators and as teachers and staff members, we have to make sure that we open it up, and we are open enough to allow children to travel their own path so that they get the education that they need, because the end game is that they get the education. Yes. So we just all have to make sure by any means necessary we do that.
The next question, why is stressing education at a younger age important?
I think it's important to stress it at a younger age because it gets them into the routine of learning. Children are a lot more moldable and adaptable when they're younger. And so, to mold young minds, it's easier to build men than to repair them. And so when you train them up right, it's easier. And even in my profession with working with, I've worked with adults and I've worked with children. I see a lot more progress in children than I see in adults. So, children are just much more adaptable and moldable and impressionable. So it's easier to see more change in them than it is, when they get older.
And I'm gonna agree with Ms. Washington with, we're elementary, so we think everything starts and begins with us anyway. And so particularly kindergarten, first and second grades, those are the most important grades in your entire K-12 education. And that's because you become who you are as a person. There's a book that says everything I learned about life, I learned in kindergarten. That's very true. You learn teamwork, you learn responsibility, you learn all these things beginning in kindergarten. And so we have to make sure that we instill in them the importance of why you need to have an education, the importance of being a good citizen of the world, the importance of learning how to work with people and learning how to work with people that you don't get along with.
What are some ways that your school and Portsmouth Public Schools students can help show public education is important?
We have to make sure that we're partnering with parents, and that the relationship between school and home is not strained. Because one of the things that we did experience at the beginning of this year was a very strained relationship, because we hadn't been together in a while and now we're back. And so we had to figure out again how to get along, how to work together with all of the issues of the pandemic. And so it was we had some little growing pains at the beginning, but we've gotten past that for the most part. I always try to make sure that the parent and admin and the teachers are on the same page, but making sure that home to school connection is strong and that we're working on the same path, and the child knows that we're on the same team, and that is to promote nothing but excellence here, and which is our motto here at school.
So this one is to you, Ms. Washington. As a counselor, what are the conversations like with rising students going to middle school? How can you help them continue on a good path as they move forward in life?
More informed decision about your behavior. I talk to a lot of the students about, stopping and thinking about the consequences for their actions, and also not only think about the consequences for their actions, but also to think about, is my behavior going to give me a reward or a consequence? And so, I'm really trying to instill that not just only in the sixth graders, but in all the students. We really try to, have them to develop that self-awareness and talk to them about, how they manage and regulate their emotions. Because I also have conversations with them about, things that are going on in the world. Because, we have enough people in the world that are not doing the right thing. And we want our students to be a part of that population that does the right thing. And, they do it with intention.
The last question towards you, Ms. Foster. What is your best pride of being a principal?
So the best part of being a principal is when I walk in and the kids say, "Hey, Ms. Foster, how you doing, Ms. Foster? I like your hair, Ms. Foster." And I say that because, particularly our young ladies, they need to see other young ladies in a positive manner, and somebody that is here that is, yes, I'm an authority figure, but I'm approachable. You can come to me, you can talk to me. They come and say, "Can I talk to you from Ms. Foster?" Sure, and they'll tell you, "Here, I'll stop a whole meeting to go to talk to kids." So that's probably the best part of being a principal is the children here, and seeing their smiles and coming here and knowing that we matter to them, because for the truth of the matter, this is the most consistent place in many of our children's lives. They know they're going to get fed here. They know that there are going to be boundaries here. They know that there are expectations here, and they know we care about them, but they also know we're going to hold them accountable too. And I think that's what the biggest thing is, particularly for our area now, is that our children need to know that you have to be held accountable. And kids want that. It's not something that we should shy away from. They want that. They want to know that somebody cares enough about them to correct them so that they can be a better place. So that's probably the best thing. I love being at Cradock Elementary School. I love being at Eagle Nation, as we say it. And this is probably, I've always wanted to be a principal, and this is probably the highlight of my professional career right now, serving the children and the people of Cradock community.
Well, having principals like you inspired me to be a principal. So
Thank you, Janare.
thank you for taking time out of your day today. Thank you for watching today. This episode was dedicated to highlighting the importance of public education. Here in Portsmouth, we have great leaders who emphasize education on students like me. As always, keep shining brighter together.